Welcome back, everybody, to workshop number 3, the art of editing. We're going to be continuing the prompt that we talked about in workshop number 2, and we talked also about the first half of something known as the alphabet technique. So in review, the alphabet technique is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Each one of these symbolizes a different step in the process of developing, brainstorming, and writing an essay. Now, if you didn't get a chance to look at workshop number 2, or you think you need a kind of review, I'll go ahead and put the link to workshop number 2 in the description. Workshop number 2 covers A through F, which is really the developing, brainstorming, and the writing of the first draft of an essay. But today we're going to be focusing on the G, H, I, J, K, which is the large chunk of editing that will occur after you've developed your first draft of the essay. So without further ado, let's get into the second half of the alphabet technique. So G. G stands for go through and select your keeps. So again, we're taking off from the same prompt that we used last time. We used one of the UC Insight questions about your greatest skill and how you've demonstrated and developed it over time. And that'll play a little bit as we go later into the presentation. But G stands for go through and select your keeps. So once you've completed your first draft, go through and select your keeps. These keeps can be defined as statements, phrases, or ideas that you'd like to remain a part of your future drafts. So once you've written your first draft, go through and select the items, phrases, statements, whatever they might be, that really resonate with the bigger picture that you're trying to convey. And they really resonate with what you want to express when it comes to your character and when it comes to your values. And these can be little statements, phrases that you've said, or they can be ideas that maybe the ideas, the way they're being said, are not 100% correct yet, but you want to keep that central idea in there. So this process will help you preserve the elements of your essay, again, that you feel capture the idea you're trying to convey, whatever that idea might be. One piece of advice when you're in this stage is to limit your keeps, because if you want to keep too many things, then it will kind of lock up your editing process. If you are too attached to too many things, it's almost like when you're going through an article and you're annotating and you're highlighting the key points. You don't want to highlight everything because not everything is important. Just like with going through and selecting your keeps, you don't want to keep everything because not everything is already perfect in a sense. So back to the prompt that we were dealing with. If you look at the right side of the screen, you'll see that there is a sentence in here. My persistence is my greatest attribute because it allows me to invite challenges, embrace adversity, and take advantage of opportunities to support those in needs. So this was the topic sentence of my very first draft, and I really liked it. I thought it was a solid outline, and it was something I wanted to keep. So this would be something that you could underline or mark up in your essay, like a phrase or a sentence. I just wanted to kind of give that example. Again, if you want to read my response to the UC question that we're talking about, I linked it under workshop number 2, and I'll also link it underneath the description workshop number 3 in this video. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one, which is H, which is have an edit or 2. So now that you've determined what you'd like to keep, open up the floor to both self-editing and peer editing. And it's important that you distinguish beforehand that you want to keep certain things, because when you open the floor up to editing, people are going to give input and they're going to try to change things, and you want to keep the things that really connect and resonate with your bigger picture. So there's two really main types of editing. There's self-editing and peer editing. So during the self-editing stages, you yourself are editing, obviously, and the things you want to look out for are awkward phrases, incomplete ideas, and confusing or out-of-place statements. So you want to look for things that are grammatically awkward, so they don't really make sense grammatically and they need to be cleaned up a little bit. Incomplete ideas, so maybe the idea is not developed enough or the idea just doesn't make sense yet. Or confusing and out-of-place statements. So maybe you've put something in your essay that has no relevance to the essay itself. You want to figure out a way to eliminate that or maybe integrate it. Then you move on to peer editing. So peer editing is about all about selecting individuals you feel that know your character values and background well. So you want people who know you pretty well and can almost put themselves in your shoes, and they can kind of imagine that they are writing the essay and that they are you. And also you want to make sure that they're strong writers so they can give good feedback in terms of the grammar constructions and the sentence construction. So the people I would really suggest for this is English teachers and counselors. Now, English teachers and counselors know how to write. They also tend to know what colleges are looking for, and they also can help you focus in on the prompt. But the big thing is you really need to give them time because they are always very busy. Obviously, they have jobs beyond just looking over your essays. So you want to give them a good amount of time. Hopefully, you're watching this video early enough before the admissions process for wherever you're applying so that you can give them ample amount of time to be able to edit. I would say 2-3 weeks because they will do it when they get a break. But if you have a strong English teacher or if you have strong counselors, they'd probably be more than willing to help you out when it comes to that. One thing is to be careful not to have too many people to edit, and this is something that I can attest to from experience because when you have too many people edit, you might get a lot of good feedback, but what will happen is as soon as you start to integrate that feedback, your ideas will begin to trickle away because your essay is changing and evolving so much that you'll get to the end of your essay and you'll think to yourself, this is not what I wanted. This is not even close to what my brainstorming stages were like. So the next one, I, stands for integrate feedback carefully. Key focus on the word carefully, and we'll talk about that. So when receiving feedback, remain really open-minded to the comments, questions, and edits you find on your essay. Some teachers, counselors, other students that you ask to edit will completely grill your essay, and they might have some really good points. So be really open-minded to all the points that they have because one single point could lead to your essay being 10 times better. It's really easy to refute, to argue against those points, but don't stay glued to your essay. Accept that it can actually change for the better. And this is more of like a philosophical kind of mindset point than an actual physical point. But accept that your essay can change and be open-minded to whatever the feedback may be. And then ask for clarifications in edits you don't understand. So a really strong way to share feedback is Google Docs. Obviously, you can collaborate on Google Docs with others, but sometimes what somebody's trying to say is very incomplete in Google Docs. They might leave a comment, and you might be a little confused. So ask to meet with your, whoever, whether it's a student, a teacher, or a counselor, ask to meet with them so you can personally discuss the edits, and that will clear up a lot of clarifications for you. And the big thing is you don't have to take every edit, and that's the integrate feedback carefully part. So not every piece of feedback is going to be productive. Not every piece of feedback is going to be necessary or good. So be careful about what you take and just know that you don't have to take every edit, but be open-minded, of course. And J stands for justify your content. I personally feel that J, justify your content, is the most important part, and I'll explain a little bit why. But once you've walked through the editing process, and maybe you've repeated that process once or twice, maybe you integrated the feedback carefully, then you went back to G and you went ahead and you selected what you wanted to keep, then you sent it through another ring of editing, and then you went back again. So you can repeat that process however much you're willing to, but just remember that the more you edit, the more you kind of go away from your core ideas. But once you've completed that editing, you go to justify your content. So using your prompt, you really want to ask yourself, does my final essay that I have in front of me answer the question? And it seems like a really, really simple point to be made, but oftentimes you get through all the editing and all the writing and your end product does not really resonate with the prompt itself. It doesn't really connect. It doesn't really even answer the prompt itself. So you have to ask yourself, you have to go through and really ask yourself at the end, does it hit all the criteria? So looking back at the question that we tackled in the first half of the Alpha technique in workshop number 2, and we're kind of talking about here in workshop number 3, what is your greatest talent or skill? How have you developed and demonstrated that talent over time? Do you talk about your greatest talent or skill? Do you elaborate about it? Do you show how it's developed? Do you show how it's demonstrated? If so, then your essay is good to go. But if not, then you have an issue. Don't panic because you can just return to the G stage, which is kind of going through your keeps, and then you can go back into editing and integrating in terms of developing your essay so it better answers the prompt. But just be wary that sometimes it's easy to deviate from the main idea of a prompt because you've been through so much writing and through much editing. It's happened to me, and then I've had to walk my way backwards. It's not a big deal. It's just part of the learning process. And finally, K, our final one, is keep the process short, just like this slide. There isn't much to be said. but don't overdo it. Don't edit your essay 26 times. Your essay will be just fine if you put in the effort to, brainstorm properly, to get the right people to edit it, and you catch everything you need to, and it answers the prompt pretty well. Also, one thing I would advise you to do, it's kind of between justify your content and keep the process short, is to, in your last read, is to go through and make sure that you have no grammatical and spelling errors, because that's one of those things that can easily be fixed. So you can kind of push it off till the very end draft. But again, keep the process short. Don't overdo it. I'm someone who has overdone it in the past many, many times when it comes to writing essays, but I would definitely advise against it because you want your core ideas to be there. And usually too many drafts is not a great sign. So your homework for the next session. So for the next session, go ahead and walk through the second half of the alphabet technique and use it to edit the essays that you've already written so far. So hopefully you've used the first half, the A through F of the alphabet technique, to write an essay or a short answer question to a college that you want to apply to. Now use the second half of the alphabet technique to go ahead and edit it, and then reach your final draft of one piece. And that feeling when you reach your final draft is a really great feeling. So I highly encourage you to do that. Workshop number 4, which is the next session, we're going to be talking about how you can now fill out the remainder of your application, whether you want to apply to a UC, a Common App, or basically any school and any application. We're going to talk about how you can approach the extracurriculars and honors section. So it's going to take a bit of a spin. So thank you for watching, and I hope you gained something from this.